and welcome in everyone. This is going to be the final episode of character creation / character design, episode 4, and we will be going over a few final stages today. Let's get started. So the next step I wanted to talk about is the sketching stage. Now, for this version of the sketching stage, we will not be going over how to draw something by scratch or from scratch. I will probably do a separate tutorial for that, but this more or less talks about what you can do after you finish the previous stages. So this stage, the sketching stage, you would want to create a few versions or ideas to get the best idea. Sketches or full rendering, it's totally your preference depending on your goals. Sketches are ideal for saving time and getting ideas out quickly. However, I personally do full renders to get more practice for digital painting. But again, if you're going to be something like a concept artist, you might not be doing full renders. You might be rushing through a bunch of different sketches to see and explore all these ideas of what your character could be. At this point, you can run through the research stage and the sketching stage a few times until you find a result that you like. So you just keep doing this, keep sketching until you're like, that is the character, this is who I want, this person fits this role. This tutorial, like I said before, assumes that you have drawing foundations and an understanding of anatomy, but you can use tools from the research stage to help your sketches get started. Remember, you can be loose here. Actually, in a character design class with John Polidora, he works at Riot or has worked at Riot. He says, I can always go back and make it look better, and that's what he likes about the sketching stage. Sketching is about finding which ideas work the best. You don't have to refine until it's perfect. That is what your next stage is going to be for. So let yourself be loose. Play with a bunch of different types of lines and different types of hair from all the mood boards that you collected and see where your drawing and your sketching takes you. Don't be tense about it. Don't be nervous. Just let yourself fly. Let yourself be an artist and, go after those ideas that are out there. The next stage is going to be core character creation. This is step 4. It is our final step and it includes taking the idea we came out with from the previous stage and the one that we like the most and expanding on it. We can do this by creating multiple documents that include information on the character. A few examples of assets that are essential to character designs are expression sheets, full body sheets, clothing sheets, companion sheets, and accessory sheets, and I will go ahead and start showing you examples of what some of these could look like. So here's an example of this is actually a combo technically of a full body sheet and expressions, and this is what we'll talk about again at the end called presentation, where you sort of bring all this stuff together to create one nice final sheet, and again I will show some more examples of that once we get there. But yeah, so we've got one of her main expressions, which I chose to color, and then her front and back. And some people would do side profile as well, which is especially important if you're doing something like animation. This actually is for an animation project, but I never did end up making a side profile because this was a little while back. But you can also do fun other poses and stuff if you want to help represent the character and their personality more. But what you want to do when you're choosing expressions is try to choose things that really represent who your character is, or something that they would probably end up doing depending on the story or again that whole narrative that you have them attached to from earlier. Like why would you find my character crying? Would you find her name is Sky? Would you find Sky really happy? Yeah, you would. That's why I chose My computer's yelling at me. That's why I chose a very sad and a very happy face, because Sky would represent both. She's also very curious, which is why I chose this as her main expression and wanted to color that one. Again, you could also color all these. I just chose to color some of the things that were most important. I might go back and work on these, but this is a great example for more of a cartoony style, expression sheet or page. And again, really try to capture what you can. You can also hone in and focus on something like the eyes. If you need to get those on lockdown or figure out really what they look like, don't be afraid to add that to your sheet. This is a sheet for both you and whoever you could be passing it off to if they're going to animate or whatever. This sheet is a place of reference for when you put it into a larger scale, like a story or a game or a movie or an animation, anything of that nature. So again, don't be afraid to throw anything on there that can help you figure out who the character is or why they are a certain way. So this next one here, this is 𝐒𝐮𝐲𝐻𝐫𝐿. This is one of my more heavily painterly character sheets, and her highlights are actually off of her right now, lol. But yeah, so this is, again, and I have a bunch of reference left over here, and we'll talk about presentation again in a bit. But yeah, so again, I have a very happy version of her face. I have her neutral and main expression you'd find her in, and then an angry. And there's always options to do more face expressions, but again, this one I felt like captured her a lot, so this is the one that sort of bred her personality. Here's another cartoon character from the same world right here, the same universe. Her name is Destiny. That's actually Sky's mother. She is a kind of an upset character, so I got a lot of angry face expressions for her because she's not a very kind person. Does she have great moments? Sure, she does. Even this one is actually like one of my favorite full bodies. But again, this is a combo of some expression and full body, and you get to really have fun with this once you figure out what your character looks like, attacking it from different angles, how they would react in certain situations. Again, really have fun with it. Make these character sheets look phenomenal. Next on the list is our full body sheets. So again, this is my character 𝐒𝐮𝐲𝐻𝐫𝐿. This is actually a different outfit of hers, which again we'll go over later. But yeah, so your full body sheets are really just going to be a front, side, and turnaround. You can also do more fun and playful gestures. I have not gotten to those yet for these characters, where they're maybe doing something more bold or something that really fits how they might hold themselves. But if you want, for these first initial stages, if you have to, draw them in pretty stagnant poses. If you need to figure out how their clothes are working, it's going to be really difficult if you're trying to draw a really crazy pose if you don't even know what they're wearing yet or how they look. You don't want to throw in extra challenges if it's not necessary at the time. So again, go ahead and start with something simple if that's easier for you. If you feel that you're more experienced in anatomy and you can go straight up for something really crazy, then go for it. But there are no rules. There are no you must do this. But again, I highly encourage starting with something like this, and then if I'd like to show this outfit off in a more cutesy pose or something, I can tackle that after this. We've got all the time in the world. You know, we can just work on more angles, because figuring out what this character looks like from all these angles is the first and foremost important part, because without that, you will not be able to figure out anything else. Another example I have is this demon character named Morning. I'm working on her for a card game. This is her front view. This is her back view. I'm going to do a side too. I have not finished the back view yet. I'm still in the middle of it, as you can see. But yeah, so again, this is, and another thing, actually, another helpful tip, even though we're not going to be going over technicalities in this video, this one I just thought of and it's pretty easy to explain right here. So I think that when you're doing your full bodies, you can just flip them and turn them around to do the back. Don't redraw everything. You want to use the resources you have. So all I did was I dragged a copy of her over here, and then I just started painting on top of her to make it a back angle. The same thing with this for her back. I just duplicated this, put it over here, and started erase the arms, started doing the back version of this character. So again, you can do something like that to save you time. Don't be afraid to do things that will help you save time. It's not cheating. You're not making mistakes by doing things that are going to save you time, like copying the character over, because why would you redraw it from scratch? It just doesn't make sense, right? We want to use the most of our time. So yeah, I hope that will help you get started on some full body sheets. Next up, we have our clothing sheet. So for the clothing sheet, this is a good place to explore possible outfits your character may be wearing. Are they a part of a game where they're going to be changing outfits, or the player gets to customize what they're wearing? Are they a part of a comic where they're going to have multiple kinds of clothes depending on what time of day it is or where they're going? What types of clothes will you need depending on the final medium your character will be going into? So this is 𝐒𝐮𝐲𝐻𝐫𝐿's main witch outfit, and again, you're going to want to do stuff that, or you're going to want to do all the things we talked about with full body earlier. So you're going to want to do 1, 2, 3. You're going to want to do the front view, her back view, and then a side profile, which again, I have not done those yet. Otherwise I would show them, but I am working on it. Right here, we have, this is her sort of moon festival outfit. This was if she goes to some sort of party, that's a potential selection for her. And then this one here is her main adventuring outfit. I probably spent the most time on this one. And then I wanted to sort of do a fun one, a Pajama Guardian-esque one. If anybody here has ever played League, I wanted to try to do Pajama Guardian or some sort of cute pajamas. And then I grabbed a portrait from League of Legends, that is Evelynn, and I wanted to see if I can do a portrait of my character because that really inspired me, and this is something I'd like to be able to do. So you could also do portraits for your character as well if you wanted. Another thing to keep in mind, again, not going to go super into technicalities here, but for one, you can see how many reference photos I have. Remember, this is just another version of a mood board. Keep collecting, making those mood boards. Have your references all over the place so you can look at them. For example, this shows me how this fabric works, and I just applied it here to her outfit, right? And I know this is going to be gold, so I applied it here to all the gold pieces. Again, over here, I did a quick rough of the outfit I wanted her to be wearing, and I did a few different quick color palettes without going in and rendering everything. This was to quickly help me figure out what sort of aesthetic I wanted to go with. So I ended up going with the darker colors because I wanted to push and pull the contrast as much as I could. So I have a lot of light and bright colors in her face against a really dark outfit. This really helped the viewer look at her face and see how friendly she is, despite the rest of the sort of sophisticated look that might be going on in her outfit. You can tell that she has some flair, she has some spunk, she has some personality. Finally, the last two things you could visit is a possible companion sheet and an accessories sheet. I actually don't have examples of these right now. If I do get to them, I will definitely show them to you guys. But the companion sheet is going to be stuff like if my witch, for example, Lunari, if she had some sort of like cat, right? You know, usually witches have cats, so you know, maybe that was a companion that she has. So yeah, you can do a full companion sheet then for that cat, and that can be accompanied with the character. And next you could do accessories. This would be stuff like staves, swords, shields, anything that they might use if they were fighting, maybe even a spell book, you know, different types of potions or items that could exist in the world. They don't even need to be attached to that specific character. This could just be accessories that exist in the world, period. But for example, she has a book right here, and this one I'm going to do a full sheet on because this book is actually a literal character that talks in whatever medium I decide to bring this character into. So again, this would be pretty essential to make the book sheet and plan out the design for that pretty well. Same thing I could go in, which I probably will, with each of these different elements. These are sort of my little mana spheres, but they each represent an element. So like this is water, this is earth, this is fire, this is air. You know, maybe I'll show what the water sphere looks like more close up, and you know, where it lives in the environment when you need to collect more. Same thing for earth, same thing for fire, same thing for air. So again, just break all these components down. There's no rule. There's nothing that says you need to do this or that. You can do whatever you feel is going to help you be able to really rock out this character, make an excellent looking portfolio, and just start moving forward. Finally, the last stage we have is our presentation stage. This is where you do a final show off of your character, create something around the sheet that, you know, gives vibes off of that world or that character. I made this very elegant and sort of flowery and warm and friendly because that's who Lunari is. I chose a script font because once again I felt like it really tied along with her character and the markings she had. I made sure that the font would work with who she is as a character. Now I'll show you a completely opposite example of how you can apply this type of technique differently. So for my morning presentation, I wanted to show these are a bunch of different thumbnails that I did for potential ways that she could look. And as you can see, this morning, this font is a lot different than Lunari's name because this font here is going to fit this character a lot better because she's a demon. So once again, you really want to choose something that is going to complement and really present your character for who they are. I have an old script behind her because again, it gives off that sort of undead female vibe. So, you know, start thinking about what's going to fit your character, what kind of background you can make that's really going to push them to belong in their world. That should be about it for this video, the character design episode 4. If you have any questions, again, please drop comments below, add me on Discord. Again, this is Syafire. I would love to help you. I love helping out. I'd love to help people reach their goals and accomplish their dreams, whether that's art, you know, any sort of media or form of creativity that you are executing. I got you. I'm all there to help you answer questions. And if you guys would like any more, you know, more in-depth like character design type tutorials, please let me know. There's so many things I could talk about. It's just really hard to cover in one video. That's why I did it sort of an overall arcing series that talks about character design. But if you want anything executing the actual skill, just let me know and I'll see what I can do. But thank you again for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Have a wonderful night, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.